Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, and it's actually going to be our last episode of Road to Ranked for Series 9. The Series 10 rule set is coming in just a few days, so yeah, I really enjoyed doing the Series 9 content, but I think it's clear that not as many people are interested, and obviously with Series 10 coming around so soon, yeah, this is going to be our last one. So really appreciate everyone for coming out and watching Road to Ranked, as always, and especially throughout the, Series 9, since after Series 10 rules were announced, I think a lot of people obviously lost interest in the format, but I still had a lot of fun making these videos, and just wanted to feature all kinds of different teams, and to me it's always really cool, especially to see people that don't even follow like the competitive scene very actively still come out and tune into these videos. So regardless of your interest in VGC, thanks so much as always for watching Road to Ranked, and I'm super excited to dive into a brand new format, considering we played Series 7/Series 9 for about half a year at this point, which is the longest format we've had in Sword and Shield, which is wild. So anyway, let's just get into our first game here. I'm still using that Regieleki Glastrier Togekiss team that we featured in the last episode, and this team is so strong. I just was playing a bunch of practice games to get the hang of it, and I just feel like I haven't done it justice. And this first team we're going up against, by the way, is really interesting. Regular Marowak, the Klingklang, Comfey, Moltres, Sylveon, and the Torkoal. So I think I just got the Tail plus Togekiss. Like, this isn't not amazing, but I feel like it's pretty darn good for Togekiss. What do I want in the back? Rillaboom is pretty bad against everything other than Marowak. I think Glastrier is probably a bring here. And I'm still actually going to bring the Regieleki here because, yes, there's Marowak on my opponent's team, but one, my Eleki does have Electro Web, so it can get past the Lightning Rod. And two, yeah, a bunch of my opponent's Pokemon are pretty weak to Eleki just in general, namely the G-Moltres, which I'm pretty scared of. So let's get into this final episode. Like I said, thanks so much as always for watching. If you enjoyed, please share support by leaving a like in the video. I'd really appreciate it. And question of the day, with the format coming to an end, I want to know what your final thoughts on the format are down in the comment section below. Let me know. Moltres plus Comfey. Honestly, I'm kind of down to just, do you max Moltres here? If you don't max Moltres, who else do you max? I guess it could be Marowak. So you could protect Moltres or even sack it to get a free switch it into Marowak, but the play I kind of want to make is just Helping Hand and Starfall turn 1. Worried about Ally Switch. Yeah, best case is they just try to activate their weakness policy and we just KO them, so okay. I think I will just go for Helping Hand and max Starfall here. Okay, they maxed. That's a good sign, honestly. Because a +2 max Airstream shouldn't KO my Togekiss, and then I'm not sure if Helping Hand plus Starfall alone gets the KO on Moltres. We might need the crit, but they will do a little bit of chip damage, obviously, to themselves with Draining Kiss as well. Max Airstream Ally Switch. No, I don't think I'm that scared about that. You could max guard Trick Room, but I really don't think that's happening here. So I think it's probably just Draining Kiss into max Airstream. You can max Airstream Gothitelle if you are nervous about Trick Room going up or just any shenanigans from Gothitelle, but I think Togekiss makes the most sense. It does feel kind of fitting that we're ending Series 9 with Crit Kiss, given how prevalent it was in the beginning of Sword and Shield. So, okay, we're going to go for Helping Hand here. We're going to Draining Kiss. Yep. Okay, not bad. Alright, I don't know if Max Starfall alone picks up the KO. That would be pretty scary if we miss out on the KO. What would I do there then? Oh, they actually do go for Max Darkness. The reason why this actually makes a ton of sense, by the way, is because by doing this, you get a special defense drop on Togekiss, whereas it's okay, the expectation is that Max Airstream's not going to KO the Togekiss anyway. So we have a 50% chance to basically just win this game right now if we crit with Starfall. Even if we don't crit, maybe this picks up the KO. I don't know the Moltres' spread here. And we do pick up the knockout. Okay, nice. I am very curious to see whether or not that was a crit. I think we could KO without the crit, but typically Galarian Moltres on these teams are going to be pretty bulky, so I am going to assume that mattered, but yeah, it was basically a 50% chance. Now, the upside is that even if we didn't crit there, I just bring in Eleki, and then I can just Electro Web to finish it off and Airstream into the Comfey slot. So I felt very, very good about the position that we were in at that point in the game. So let's think about what they had in the back. Sylveon, that's not really scary. Klingklang. Alolan Marowak. I think Glastrier is just very good here. Because we can just Heavy Slam. Is that Marowak? Yeah, it is. That's cool. Okay. I do have a Lecky in the back, so that's going to be a really useless bring at this position in the game. I actually don't know how much Heavy Slam does into Comfey here. It should be a pretty good amount, I would think. I would think Heavy Slam into Airstream here is a KO. So let's just go for that. See if they ally switch. Nope, and they protect Marowak. Yeah, I mean, your only chance of winning here is probably to set up Trick Room. So that's why I'm doubling up onto Comfey here every time. It's like, even if Comfey protects, I still get damage with Max Airstream through Protect. Chip it a little bit, and then give Glastrier a speed boost to ensure that I outspeed both of my opponent's Pokemon. Oh, but maybe Icicle Spear was better in case they're Babiri Berry, but they're not Babiri. I think if I were to replay that turn, I would just click Icicle Spear instead. Because if they're Babiri there, maybe they actually survive, and that would be really bad for us. But the good thing for us in this matchup is that, like, I could identify that my opponent's only real max option was going to be Galarian Moltres. Maybe the Marowak, but to a much less extent, right? Like, obviously, the Klingklang, the Torkoal, the Comfey, all of those are more setup-oriented Pokemon, so you're not going to max those. Sylveon almost never maxes unless it's in very niche scenarios, so then it's clearly just going to be Moltres almost all the time, and that's why I felt very confident with... Like, I brought 3 Pokemon to beat the Moltres, basically, right? So, let's see. Now we can just go for Icicle Spear into Marowak, and just max Airstream into Torkoal to reduce eruption damage. Because it's like, even if they go for... Yeah, okay. I was going to say, their win cons, maybe go for a double protect there, hope I double up into your Marowak, and then eruption. So I don't want to give them the possibility of winning off a double protect. So by going for max Airstream, because we have the AV on Glastrier, we should survive any fire type attack other than like a full powered eruption. So that's what I wanted to avoid in that position. I'm very curious about their teams. Let's see. Who was weakness policy? Had taunt. Didn't have any special defense bulk or HP bulk, so maybe Starfall would have just KO'd anyway. Mentor, no ally switch, which you sometimes see. Pixie Plate. This is interesting. Baby Doll Eyes, and there's no quick attack, so you can't self-proc the policy with Sylveon, but it makes sense because you already have the Comfey. Let's see. We got Klingklang here. Gear Grind, Steel Beam, Trick Room ally switch. That is just super interesting. The only time I remember us using Klingklang was in the beginning of the format with like Toxtricity. Boomerang, Thunder Punch, Brick Break, Protect. Wind Speed, and then Torkoal. Yeah, so I guess actually the Torkoal my opponent's team can max, especially because it's actually carrying a Life Orb. Yeah, I don't think there was really much of a chance for my opponent to win, but like the game wasn't necessarily over. I think you basically go for the double protect there and then Burning Jealousy burn us. Togekiss would obviously just win the game if it crits the Torkoal here, and in general I think my opponent's team was just relatively weak to Togekiss. They had one Steel type in this, but it's just feigns to Max Flare anyway. Sylveon actually probably would have been their best bet because it can survive a Max Airstream, potentially even if we crit, and then get a Yawn against us in return. So, yeah. Like I said, one reason I really like this team is because it can just push the tempo really quickly. And the thing with Crit Kiss is often you are in positions where it's like you don't need the crit, but if you get the crit, you can kind of just win the game. So, yeah, that's kind of what happened there, where it was going to be very difficult for my opponent to come back after turn 1. It would have been interesting. Like, they definitely had a shot, especially if like Comfey had Protect there in the end, but fortunately for us they didn't. But I think in that position, since we have such a big early turn 1 lead, we just like, yeah, deny any potential Trick Room and we should be good. So yeah. Anyway, as we go into the second game, I think, yeah, like rounding out Series 9, it was definitely really fun, you know, and first of all, I also want to just say thanks to everyone for, you know, messaging me for potential teams and, you know, sharing your rental codes. I don't get to respond to everyone, but I do see most of it, so I really appreciate those that, you know, have teams that they want to contribute. And yeah, I, you know, overall just had a lot of fun making content for Series 9, and it is really interesting because this is like the first year in VGC where we have like, you know, rotating format every couple of months, and we haven't had obviously in-person major tournaments. But from a content perspective, it's been an absolute blast. So yeah, appreciate everyone as always. But in this next game, Whimsicott, Rhyperior, Ninetales, Charizard, Clef, and Rillaboom. Huh. That's such an interesting team because like, I see Rhyperior and I think there would be Trick Room, but maybe it's just max speed Rhyperior. Either way, it's not great for a Lucky. Rhyperior is actually really scary here. But if they don't lead it, Gothitelle plus Togekiss is really good. And even if they do, I can maybe just Trick Room. My fear here is that I'm actually really weak to Charizard if I don't bring Regieleki or Urshifu. They're both very subpar here. What this means is I have to be very careful. If my opponent doesn't lead Charizard, I have to constantly ask myself throughout the battle, what are the odds that they have it as one of their like reserve Pokemon? Because if it's in the back, I have no answer into it other than like Max Hailstorm from Glastrier. Now Glastrier can, you know, probably survive an attack from it, especially if the sun isn't up, and the main way the sun would be up would be from Whimsicott, like clicking Sunny Day. But okay, they lead with Whimsicott and Charizard. I'll take that. The question I have here then is, do you have Protect on Whimsicott? Because the play I want to make turn 1 is to just fake out into the Whimsicott, Dynamax, and Airstream it. If they have like Protect, and then like theoretically turn 2 you could Wildfire. They're not maxing Charizard, or it's slower. If they're not maxing, this is, I think, a bad sign because it's probably double Protect on turn 1, which I don't love. But our Charizard matchup is not amazing, to be honest. Well, it's like, we have Regieleki, we have Urshifu, but the thing is those two are really weak to the rest of my opponent's team. So in a vacuum, it's like, yeah, we can beat Charizard. Oh. That's interesting. They were probably just going for Sunny Day Heat Wave? Yeah. Nice, okay. They crit us. And burn us. Wow. That's okay. Obviously, that's like a little frustrating, but all things considered, this turn could have played out a lot worse. Like, the worst case scenario was double Protect and then turn 2, Sunny Day, Wildfire, Togekiss for a one-hit KO. Just curious about the item on Charizard. I almost want to say it's Choice Specs. That would explain the lack of Dynamax on turn 1, too. The reason I think it's Specs is because of how much it did into Gothitelle without the sun being up. I don't know, maybe Charcoal? I really think it might be Specs. Okay, either way, not the best start to the game, but also not the worst. They just bring Clefairy out, okay. That's actually still pretty scary, and that's where that crit actually is pretty painful for us. Now Gothitelle can... Ooh, we actually outspeed Charizard exactly. So, I could Helping Hand Airstream into Clefairy here, but I think I'm actually just going to go for Hypnosis. Well, they probably follow me anyway, right? You could follow me and then G-Max Wildfire into Gothitelle or Togekiss. See, yeah, maybe I did need a Regieleki in the back. Like, they are protecting their Charizard really, really well. Okay, I think I'm going to go Hypnosis and Airstream here. But is it Specs Charizard? They are going to Dynamax, which is the right call. I think if you don't Dynamax here, it's too risky. But Charizard's just so good into us. And I didn't bring either the Regieleki or the Urshifu. I think it was probably right to drop Rillaboom for one of them. Because Glastrier beats the rest of my opponent's team. I brought Rillaboom mainly because I was really scared about Rhyperior, but I don't think I made the best selection-wise here this game. Okay, Clefairy does just go for Follow Me. Now, Wildfire shouldn't KO Togekiss, I wouldn't think. If Helping Hand plus Airstream was just a KO, though, well, that was with the crit, right? Yeah. So it's like we had a 50% chance to KO there if I went for Helping Hand. Hypnosis covers for them not going for Follow Me. And we miss, unfortunately. And they're going to launch Wildfire off into Togekiss, okay. Okay, so this actually isn't too bad then, because I can just go for Airstream and Hypnosis again, but this Hypnosis is one I need to hit. And this is where getting crit and the burn really adds up, because I'm taking a lot more residual. Like, I would be a lot healthier if I didn't get crit or burn turn 1, but it's okay. So, yeah, just going to click Hypnosis here and click Airstream into Clefairy. We don't want a Starfall because that sets up the terrain, and we don't actually want the terrain to be up. We will outspeed Charizard. Yeah, so I'm just going to go for it. Let's see if we can hit. If I just went for Helping Hand last turn, like then my opponent would actually get a free switch in, and I don't want them to get another Pokemon that can threaten with offense, like their own Rillaboom. Because if they bring out their own Rillaboom, then I can't even potentially get that 60% chance to hit with Hypnosis. But that's the thing with this team. You don't want to rely on Hypnosis, and right now I'm in a position where I actually have to kind of rely on it, which is not ideal, right? So, yeah. Okay. Get Max Airstream off. It actually is going to survive. Through the crit, that's fine. It's really whether or not Gothitelle can connect on Hypnosis here. I think if we don't hit, we probably will lose this game because Charizard just beats what I have in the back. But it is clutch here and manages to connect on this one. Okay, nice. So this gives us a definite fighting chance, but it's still not even that amazing because like my damage output against Charizard once again is still really lacking. However, now what's interesting is I can actually set up the Trick Room and take advantage of the Trick Room. Because if I get Trick Room up, then my Glastrier will outspeed the Charizard under Trick Room. But once again, like, there's obviously a big question as to whether or not I actually brought the best Pokemon here, because if I had a Lecky or Urshifu, I'd actually still feel pretty confident about this endgame, but I just, like, my 4 are really weak to Charizard, and I knew that going into the battle, but still. So yeah, I'm going to click Trick Room here, and Dazzling Gleam, I think. It might have actually been better to click Follow Me, but the thing is, I don't want Clefairy around anyway, and it's like here, they'd have to wake up. Well, they are going to always target Gothitelle, so it's, what, 2/3 chance in our favor? Clefairy Hangyon is definitely a bummer, but that's fine. At least we hit the more important Hypnosis, and they actually just go for the double, okay. So we'll get the KO onto Clefairy, get a little bit of chip on a Charizard. Looks like that's a crit as well. Nice. Although in the end, none of the crits actually really matter. we crit 4 times with Togekiss, but like it took 3 hits to KO the Clefairy anyway, and they stay asleep. Okay, perfect. So we get Trick Room up, and their Dynamax is over. Now, this was pretty scary, right? Because this is a game in which I actually had to rely on Hypnosis, and like you typically don't want to be in a position to rely on it, but once again, that's the upside of having Hypnosis on Gothitelle. It can just get you out of potentially, losing positions. So their Dynamax is over. We've gotten rid of both of their redirection users. I can bring out Rillaboom. And I think I like Rillaboom because I can first click Fake Out into the... I can first scout out what they want to bring in right now. Yeah. I expect Rhyperior maybe, but let's see. Yeah. So this is good because I have Rillaboom plus Glastrier in this endgame. And if I brought Glastrier out, I'm not sure I'd be able to one-shot either necessarily. Whereas with Rillaboom, I'm a little bit more confident. So their Dynamax is over now. I could obviously just go for a Helping Hand Grassy Glide into Rhyperior. Charizard can obviously just Heat Wave, so I think it's probably better to just fake out the Charizard. I actually don't mind Helping Hand Fake Out here. And I know normally that seems kind of bizarre, but the reason I don't mind it in this position is because I do like just maximizing my damage output. And I don't think Rillaboom should one-shot us unless they have Mega Horn. Or sorry, not Rillaboom, Rhyperior. And they Protect, which is perfect, yeah. Okay. So we're just going to get a chunk of damage here onto the Charizard, and they wake up. Perfect, yeah. So now I get a free switch it into the Glastrier. The only thing is that my Glastrier, the Glastrier on this team is not min speed. Still should be fine, I would think. I just don't want to Grassy Glide into Rhyperior, have it actually survive, and then activate a Weakness Policy. That's my fear. Three turns of Trick Room left. I still think this is Spec Charizard, TBH, based off how much it did to Goth on turn 1. How much special defense investment do we have out on Gothitelle again? Decent amount. So if I think it's Specs, I'm down to just Ice School Spear the Charizard and Grassy Glide into the Charizard. Just to KO that. Yep, they don't protect the Charizard. Okay, I also want to just confirm who's faster between Glastrier and Rhyperior. It is going to be our Glastrier, which is perfect. Okay, great, an Ice School Spear. Yeah, I was a little bit nervous of Charizard surviving if I didn't go for the Glide. Okay, so that gives us an attack boost. That should seal up the game, barring a crit anything onto Rillaboom. And they just Rock Slide, which is perfect. Like, yeah, it does damage, but it's not KOing either Pokemon. Glastrier actually takes that really well, impressively enough. So, perfect. Let's see. There's really no way out of this for my opponent, right? Because even if you stall out my Trick Room, my Rhyperior or my Rillaboom just outspeeds you. There's still, what, 2 turns of Trick Room? So, they'll probably protect here. That's fine. I'm down to just Icicle Spear here and go for Grassy Glide. The main reason I made that play was because I think it is Specs Charizard, and if I can't protect, like Rhyperior could potentially double protect in that position, and my fear was Icicle Spear, if we get 2 hits, doesn't KO the Charizard. So like, if Rhyperior gets a double, or they survive Grassy Glide, that would be pretty bad. And because this Glastrier is not min speed, I wanted to just confirm the speed interactions between Rhyperior. It might be like Glastrier at its current speed stat still just outspeeds Rhyperior. Like Rhyperior speed can't go lower than where Glastrier is at, but I don't remember the exact numbers off the top of my head. I am also very curious to see whether or not Grassy Glide can just KO. And they do go for the double, which is absolutely the right play. Even if they go for it, though, we would just be able to Wood Hammer. And yeah, this is exactly why I didn't want to Glide, because Rhyperior could actually survive, and I really did not want to activate a weakness policy in that position. So, not sure if it was Specs Charizard, but I want to say it was. Charizard just like normally shouldn't do that much damage with Heat Wave. Anyway, that was an example of a matchup in which like it was not an easy matchup for us. And based off the 4 Pokemon my opponent ended up bringing, like Urshifu would have objectively been a lot better. But the thing is, I didn't feel comfortable bringing Urshifu when you look at like the rest of my opponent's team. They had Rillaboom, for example. Let's see what they had. Yeah, they had Rillaboom. They had Whimsicott. So was Sunny Day. Was Weakness Policy. They were actually not min speed. Yeah, Tailwind, Sunny Day, Taunt, Moonblast. Weakness Policy, Rhyperior. This is also one reason I didn't want to bring Urshifu. Light Clay with the Roar Reveal. That actually would have been pretty scary. Yep, okay, it was Specs Charizard. Glad my assumption there was right, because I was like, that damage is just too much otherwise. Modest Specs, yeah. EV Light Clefairy, and then AV Rillaboom. Okay. But, yeah, I don't love that match in the sense that, you know, ideally you never want to rely on Hypnosis, and we did have, if we missed the one that we aimed for on Charizard that turn, we probably just lose the game there. So it never feels great, but that's once again why Hypnosis Gato is really strong. It can get you out of like completely losing positions and potentially save the game for you. So we need to get a little bit lucky there. We need to not only hit Hypnosis, but then also get 2 turns of sleep, and the odds of that are like under 50% basically, I think. So the odds aren't amazing, but you know, it allowed us to win the game, so we certainly take those. Okay, next game here, and it's another Cobalion. We just fought one in Game 3 yesterday, right? But I don't remember if it was the exact same Pokemon. Was it? I don't think so. I honestly want to go Gothitelle plus Togekiss here. But it's so much of a question of whether or not Whimsicott has Protect. Because if they have Protect, they can just like Protect Steel Spike turn 1 and then beat up turn 2. Which I really don't love. I mean, the main thing here is basically playing around Whimsicott plus Cobalion. Assuming they have Trick Room. Or sorry, not Trick Room. Protect. Would you really have Protect beat up Moonblast Tailwind? Seems decently likely, to be honest. I'm still going to go Togekiss Gato. I need Glastrier. Lucky is not great if we don't lead it, so I don't want that. I think it's just Urshifu, because we can Searching Strikes. So, let's see. But, well, depending on how long this game goes, I was going to say this will be our last game of Series 9, but maybe it'll be a lot more, depending on how this plays out. Either way, like I said, it's been a blast, so thanks so much as always for tuning in. And yeah, I know it's always really cool to me, especially when like, you know, it's towards the end of a format or obviously things are dying down a little bit, but people still come out and watch the videos. Like, I know that there's a lot less incentive to come in and tune in. So, you know, makes me really happy when people still come out and watch. It's really cool. Anyway, so here's the thing. I could Fake Out Max Airstream Whimsicott turn 1. I could Follow Me Trick Room turn 1. I could Helping Hand Max Flare turn 1. I could even Hypnosis turn 1. Just you have Protect on Whimsicott. I'd be surprised if it didn't. I'm going for Fake Out Max Airstream, but if they do indeed have Protect, we're in trouble. So the thing is, even though I expected Whimsicott Cobalion, I still can't really come up with a good game plan. One in which it covers for Whimsicott protecting, but also clicking beat up turn 1. I guess I could have just gone Follow Me Trick Room, honestly. But then it's like, that's probably the safer bet, honestly. Because it's like, in the worst case, they KO us, but then we get Trick Room up, and then we have a 60% chance to just put Cobalion to sleep, and then we just play towards Dynamax Glastrier. Yeah, I think if I were to replay turn 1, I actually would have just go Follow Me Trick Room, but once again, it's not the most consistent play, depending on Whimsicott's set. Okay, they don't go for Protect, though. That's huge. Oh, please don't be Cobaberry now. Either way, Cobalion without any boost is not as scary, although that actually still did a significant amount of damage, so... yeah. Curious on the item, is it Life Orb? Nope. It's also fitting because Cobalion was like, what, one of the first... Whimsicott, Cobalion, Dragapult, like that was one of the first cores I wanted to build with. Was it in Series 6 or 7? All of it kind of blends together at this point to me. I think it was 6, right? But either way, I love Cobalion, so it's funny to see how like things go full circle, basically. Okay, they bring in Incineroar. We've got Urshifu in the back. Have a speed advantage right now. They have Fake Out. The thing here is that this thing gets a max Airstream. The play I want to make is to just Max Guard here and Hypnosis. I mean, they're probably going to Fake Out Gothitelle, right? Like, the easiest play is to Fake Out Gothitelle and Steel Spike, but you could read into Togekiss protecting and Fake Out plus Airstream into Gothitelle. Even if you do that, though, is it that bad? It would be a very good play. I am going to go Max Guard Hypnosis here, but this is pretty scary. I assume they're going to Fake Out here. Oh, they don't. That's really good if we hit. If we hit this, I think it's just game over. But we missed. That's fine, though. And they're going to go for Darkest Lariat. Okay. So I have another chance at putting this thing to sleep. Ooh, well, did a lot. I could also Helping Hand Flare. I could also set up the Trick Room right now, but I don't know if well, it's actually not a terrible idea. This thing doesn't have any attack boost, just a defense boost, which we can crit through. What's their last Pokemon going to be? Likely something fast? It actually might make sense. No, but I can't Trick Room if they're just going to Darkest Lariat us. Yeah. Okay, you know what I actually like? I like Max Airstreaming Cobalion here and then switching Gothitelle into Urshifu, because that gives Urshifu a speed boost, which allows me to outspeed Cobalion. I'm glad we get to see the variance in Hypnosis, though, right? Where it's like, obviously in Game 2 it saved us, and here in Game 3 that was a big miss, where if we hit that, I think we just win the game, because then Cobalion's denied one more attack. That's not a Assault Vest, is it? Oh, interesting. What is the item on it? Okay, either way, that's pretty good. Yep, they just go for Steel Spike, which I'm okay with. Perfect. Now I get to recycle Fake Out from Gothitelle as well. I could have gone for Hypnosis there, but we weren't going to outspeed Cobalion at +2 speed anyway, if they're max speed. So then it's like, is it really worth going for Hypnosis? Because we potentially just lose both Pokemon, and then Cobalion outspeeds us in the end game as well. And yeah, they go for Darkest Lair. Okay, that's perfect. Because now what I can do is, well, do I want to bring Gothitelle? No, because they have Darkest Lariat, it's still fine to bring out Gothitelle actually, right? Especially because I have the speed boost. It just comes down to what their last Pokemon is. Okay. Because I think the play I want to make here is to just Fake Out into Incineroar. Let's double check. We have a speed boost on you. You have a defense boost, you have 2 defense boosts, but I crit through the defense boosts anyway, and I have Glastrier in the back. What are your remaining Pokemon? All 3 of your remaining Pokemon are very, very weak to Glastrier, which is good for us. But I can't really get Trick Room up, right? I'm not sure Surging Strikes is going to KO the Incineroar if they have a Berry. So I don't necessarily... Like, I was thinking we could Surging Strikes and Trick Room here, but then they could Iron Head flinch us. So the play I like the most this turn is to just Fake Out into Incineroar and then Surging Strikes into the Cobalion. Get that out of the way. My fear now is if my opponent's last Pokemon is Regieleki, because then they can just Electro Web and Darkest Lariat. But we do have Glastrier, which can just one-shot Eleki and Incineroar. It's gonna be a close finish. Yeah, like I'm happy to have that Hypnosis miss because, like I was just saying, you don't want to rely on it all the time. And in this game, we didn't need to rely on it, right? It's like the miss hurt. If we hit, the game's probably just over. And Regidrago is their last one. Okay, that's good. We have a speed boost, meaning even if you're Scarfed, we'll outspeed you. And with Glastrier in the back, I think here we can just win the game if we go for Helping Hand and Surging Strikes into the Incineroar. Just guarantee the KO onto Incineroar so that, and then win the 1v1 with Glastrier against Regidrago, I think is fine. Even if you have a full... Oh, they just forfeit. Okay, I don't think they needed a forfeit there. The game was still winnable in my opinion. But we'll take it. Big thing here was Whimsicott didn't protect turn 1. If Whimsicott protects, that's a completely different game, right? So lucky for us they didn't protect. But yeah, that was a pretty fast game though. So let's play one final one and properly end Series 9 here. Okay, final game now of Series 9. Oh, what a way to end things, huh? Liepard, Hatterene, Chansey, Shuckle, and Dragapult, Eleki. I would love to end this with the win. Let me say that much. Okay, so Liepard hack. Glastrier is really good here. Urshifu. This is interesting because obviously we've seen Liepard hat Shuckle Chansey before, but then it also just has Dragapult and Eleki to give it like an offensive mode. Which you don't see that frequently. That's pretty cool. Okay, I think I'm down to... I haven't led Glastrier at all while using this team, and I think that was actually one of my weaknesses while playing with it. Glastrier actually makes for a surprisingly effective lead in a certain team, so I think it's pretty good here. So I'm down to go for Gothitelle plus Glastrier, Urshifu in the back, and Rillaboom here, I think. Okay. Let's see. Should be really interesting. You know, we've seen Chansey and Shuckle throughout the format. I've never played with it personally, just because games can like draw out for quite a while when you're relying on like Shuckle or Chansey. But you know, it is definitely a viable strategy. So let's see. They are gonna go with the Liepard in the hat. Okay, I actually really don't mind that. I'm pretty content with that. What do I want to do turn 1 though? Also, Copycat's priority isn't higher than Fake Out, right? So I could just easily Fake Out the... Or I can even reverse Trick Room if I think they're going to Trick Room. But they might just click Fake Out onto my Gothitelle and then just like G-Max Smite Glastrier. All of those are possibilities. They don't have Torkoal, which is good for us. I'm down to just Fake Out Liepard, Dynamax, and Knuckle into it turn 1, I think. Oh, they're faster with Hatterene. They're not min speed. Oh, okay. That may be a problem. The reason I went Fake Out Knuckle, by the way, into Liepard is because I was nervous about Fake Tears Max Flare into us. But we're actually in really big trouble here. Wow, yeah, I didn't expect Hat to not be min speed. The speed dynamic here actually changes everything, because if they were slower, I'd actually be totally fine with them maxing on turn 1. But the fact that they're not min speed is a bad sign for us. Especially if their Liepard clicks Fake Out onto my Gothitelle turn 1, which I think is probably happening here. Oh, they didn't go for it. Okay, that's actually really good that they didn't go for it, because I assume we should pick up the KO onto it. Oh boy, time to play the confusion game. Okay, they target Gothitelle, which I'll take. They do just over 50%. Pretty close there, but that was, what, 91 damage? Alright, you got me, right, Glastrier? It'd be so fitting to end the format with Glastrier hitting itself in confusion, but it actually manages to attack through it. Nice. So I hope this picks up the KO. I'm not sure it actually does. Okay, nice. So we just got 2 attack boosts in 1 turn, which is awesome. Yeah, I'm just very surprised to see Hat be slow, but I'm very glad Liepard didn't click Fake Out turn 1. I'm curious what it was going for then. Maybe it was Fake Tears plus an attack. One reason I love Gothitelle is honestly because it has Fake Out now, right? Old Gothitelles didn't get access to Fake Out, but yeah, now we just get 2 boosts immediately. That was a big turn in itself, as they bring out Shuckle. Shuckle. Okay. They're probably just gonna smite us again. I don't really love switching out into either of these. I have Hypnosis. I'm down to Hypnosis in this position. We can't Hypnosis Hat because of Magic Bounce. Mainly because I'm confused with both Pokemon. So if I Helping Hand, it's basically all in on Glastrier, but by going for Hypnosis, it gives me 2 options to deal with this Shuckle, which is pretty handy. I wonder if Steel Spike KOs Shuckle at +2 attack. I'm down to Steel Spike Hat here. So let's see if we can attack through the confusions. Gothitelle is going to be faster. Nice! And gets Hypnosis off. Oof, Gothitelle game to play today. That's huge. Even if we end up hitting ourselves in confusion with Glastrier, this is still a really good turn for us, I'd say. Oh, the Shuckle is faster than both of us. Okay. That's good to know. As they go for Smite onto Gothitelle. Yep, no problem. We're due for a confusion hit. It's got to hit itself here, right? Wow, it doesn't. But they do have Babiri. Interesting. Okay. Makes sense. Explains why, you know, they don't have a Life Orb here. But now I can just bring out Rillaboom and just click Woodhammer onto Hatterene, I think. We've gotten absurdly lucky this game. Not absurdly lucky, but like we attacked through 3 confusions and hit a Hypnosis, right? Odds of all of that are not great. But this is why Hatterene, G-Max Hatterene is a really inconsistent Pokemon when you're not attacking first and picking up KOs. That being said, it makes total sense why I feel like this matchup isn't very good for my opponent, honestly. So I'm down to just Woodhammer here. Just Glide KO from that range. I'm not 100% confident on it KOing, so I'd rather just Woodhammer here. And just go for Steel Spike onto Shuckle. Maybe Hailstorm was better there. Oh, they actually switch out. I'll gladly take that, because whatever's coming in is taking so much damage. Is it Chansey? I see what they're going for, I think. They bring in Chansey and they just hope that they wake up with Shuckle this turn. That's actually really smart, but they take a huge Woodhammer before anything. That being said, if they wake up... okay, they don't wake up. That should secure us the game. And we snap out of confusion. That like couldn't have gone any better. Every single RNG roll we needed in this game played out right. Perfect. Yeah, we definitely got very lucky in this game. So the question then I have to ask myself is, could I have changed my approach? And one thing I could have done in this endgame was actually fake out the Shuckle and Steel Spike it, but we were still confused with Glastrier and we didn't know if we were going to snap out of confusion, so that's not a risk I was willing to take there. Even if Chansey you get like the guard split I think off, it's not actually that much of it. Well, maybe it is an issue because you outspeed. Yeah. Now, we do have Urshifu with Surging Strikes in the back, and we got such a big burst of damage where I'm thinking it was probably okay anyway. Anyway, now I'm just going to click another Woodhammer into Chansey and Spear into Shuckle. Yeah. But it makes sense why they made that switch. I think they had to go all in on that play, because if you don't, then you just never get the Chansey set up, and so much of the end game for the teams like that is getting Chansey set up in the end. But... because we had Urshifu in the back, like, I actually felt okay about our odds. It's just once Chansey gets the defenses, it is very difficult to deal with. But it would have been a long, drawn-out ending, and in that game, everything went right for us. I guess the only thing that could have been better was the Hatterene not being Babiri Berry, but obviously it was in the end. But main thing here was, yeah, we were able to just put on pressure with damage early. Hatterene being faster definitely caught me off guard, and that actually made the matchup significantly harder, because if they weren't faster, then we didn't have to deal with the first confusion roll, and just KOing Liepard by itself is a big deal. Well, maybe the speed didn't actually matter that much. It would just get, yeah, it was just mainly the first confusion roll that we had to avoid, and so fortunately for us, we did. But yeah. But that is going to be it for Series 9. So thank you so much for watching Road to Rank throughout all of Series 9. I really do appreciate it, especially for those that made it to the end here. Like, I know that this was probably the least interest people have had in a format in the last like year and a half. But I still made these videos because I find them fun. And actually, when I polled you all, like I think like 2 weeks ago, most people said they actually wanted to just see us finish Series 9 before moving on to Series 10. And yeah, it seems like not as many people are interested in Showdown content, which totally makes sense. So yeah, that is going to be it for this one. Thank you so much as always for watching. We'll be back in a few days with Series 10 content, and I'm excited to dive into this brand new format with all of you. But yeah, leave a like if you enjoy. Don't forget to check out the team. There's still a few days of the format. If you're looking for a good team to climb with, this really is one of them. It's also one of the reasons why I wanted to end with it. It is super consistent and has a lot of strong options up its sleeve, and to me, features a lot of like the meta developments that we saw throughout Series 9, including the return of Togekiss, Crit Kiss specifically, Dynamax Regieleki, Gothitelle, and just Gothitelle plus Glastrier as well. So yeah, I'll catch you all next time. All right, peace.